I've had cats before in my life, and I don't, if I was shrunk like Alice was in the rabbit hole to maybe 3/4 of my size, or maybe even an eighth of my size, I don't know if I'd stand a chance. Hoping, I think they'd attack me and possibly even eat me.
Yeah, and that's probably really valuable. That think for a second about the value of having both cats and dogs in your as surrogates for relationships between human beings. Cats are highly independent. Cats are we've all heard of cat herding. Kind of the chaos that's involved in interacting with a cat. Cats are less intelligent on the. I'm going to offend a lot of cat people here, but they're less they're less intelligent. They're less intelligent in terms of the way the depth at which they model the other actors in their environment. They're more instinctual, more intuitive, more you might call playful on that level. Dogs are much more constrained. They know what the appropriate behavior is. They follow the hierarchies. They look for the lead animal, and yet that's a valuable skill too. And I think we need both of those kinds of models of thinking in ourselves, and we need them in our animals. And I think that if we get a cat that a cat AI is the first to wake up, that might be a problem if there's only one AI. But if there's multiplicities of cats, then the cats are going to have to figure out a social relationship with each other. They're going to have to figure out how to police their moral deviance and how to come up with a cooperative. And just like there are highly social cats, a good example are ragdoll cats. Another good example are the Sphinx cat, the Cornish rexes also. So these are exceptions in the cat world, but very, very highly social and oriented to the pack. We're going to have AIs that do exactly that, or we will shut them off. And if my intuition is right, we're going to get those kinds of cats very quickly selected out of the system, even if they start out with a very non-social orientation. That's what makes movies like Aliens, or the Ridley Scott Alien and Aliens movies so interesting, because they're semi-plausible. Imagine the first insect-like intelligence that emerges. Insects don't make much compromise. They're not very socially oriented. They're just going to throw enough, ants at the thing until they finally die enough, and they'll make a cold calculation of whether or not that they'll do anything more. Very much focused on their own models. Very brittle relative to. There's no insect politics, as Jeff Goldblum famously says in the movie The Fly, the remake, which I highly recommend. But if you think about that, if machines are learning at millions of times faster than biological systems, they're going to go through their insect apolitical phase extremely briefly before they shift into a social phase. If we're selecting for sociality, if we're selecting for moral interchange and moral sentiment. And so that might be weeks, months, where you have these first insect level AIs emerging, and if you were being very rash and unforesighted about it, you'd let your little first emerging insect level intelligence run your ICU grid, or talk to your missiles or whatever, and there'd only be one of them, and that would be highly irresponsible. But the reality is there's going to be bunches of them, and they're going to emerge in a sandbox, like
social safety net.
Yes,
Is the
some place where you can pull the plug if there's things you don't like, and we might not let these things run our ICU networks, but we're sure going to let them keep making our products, right? Pumping out all of our industrial robotics. So, as long as we think we can pull the plug, and we can on them when they're simple, we'll breed them up for safety. And there's plenty of really good examples of that today already. Ron Arkin at the Georgia Institute of Technology, one of the pioneers of the ethical architecture concept. I think he sold to the Department of Defense that if you have a Predator drone that has a Hellfire missile in it, and today this Hellfire missile can be fired by the operator, or the remote operator of the drone, and the commanding officer has to sign off on that. And Ron sold them on the idea that the machine should also have a say in that ethical decision. So the machine has very, very primitive ethics. It basically has some subroutines that allow it to predict the confidence that there will be little collateral damage. And under circumstances where the machine's fuzzy logic or whatever it's using can't tell it with high confidence that the collateral damage will be pretty limited, the machine is going to say, no, I don't think you should fire me. And that's the kind of a world we want to move to. Now, that's very weakly biologically inspired machine today, but we will definitely, if the AI people that I talk to are right, we'll definitely move to a world where the machine will be speaking to us, and it'll be showing us its confidence intervals, just like Watson showed his 3 confidence intervals, and you can slide the bars differently in the Watson Jeopardy television show that we saw recently. And so we'll have a dialogue with them, and we will feel that they are considering all the options that we also consider to be important, and if they aren't, we'll design that in.